Hello, 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 hello. It's Thursday, and you know what that means? A new episode of Chit Chat with Bernie Bella. I'm your host, Bernadine, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Drop a comment, say hello, share the live. Welcome to episode 21 of Chit Chat with Bernie Bella. We're just here chugging along one episode at a time. So say hello, say hi, let me know what's happening, and we'll go from there. So if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. Previous episodes can be found on YouTube, and I'm also streaming live on YouTube as well. So there's some new changes that I did when I took a break. So, I'll tell you guys a little bit more about that as we go along. So, share the live, say hi, say hello. It's a talk show that I do every Thursday on, used to be Facebook only, but now I'm doing on YouTube as well. So you can check it out. Past episodes are also on YouTube as well. So check it out. Hi, Desiree, and thanks for checking in. How are you doing? Okay, so just to touch on a little bit of the changes that I've made since I went on a break. First, we're multi-streaming to both YouTube and Facebook. So if you don't have a Facebook account and you want to check me out on YouTube, you can. If not, either one, you can watch me on Facebook Live, you can watch me on YouTube Live, both of them same time. That's one of the changes I've made. So I'm expanding my brand. There's some people who prefer to watch via YouTube because it gives them an anonymity so that everybody don't see them on Facebook, and that's fine. That's for you as well. The second change that I've made is that I'm adding a politics section. And, we're having a federal election on September 20th, which is the day before my birthday. So I've added a politics section just for the period of the federal elections. And in that section, I'll just be breaking down just a little bit of some of the things that the different parties are offering. So I'll put it in English because, they have politician speech. I'll break it down in English because politicians don't speak English. They speak a whole other language. Another change that I've made is we will do a news segment where, I tell you what's happening here and there and stuff. And then we'll have like one section where we do, focus on a topic, discuss that topic, get your thoughts and opinions on that topic. Topic will change weekly. And the last section that we'll have is it's in an email section where you can email me anonymously a situation that you're going through, a question you may have, can be relationship, can be job, can just be a general thing you need an answer to or whatever, and you might not want to ask a friend or whatever, you want to put it out and see what other opinions that you have. I do have an email address. I've put that on the YouTube channel. It is also on my Facebook. You can email me anonymously. I'll read it, get, other opinions and stuff, and you'll have to watch to see what the answers are that are provided. So, like I said, a few changes that are being made, and hopefully it's better, give you guys a little bit more something else as opposed to, change it up a bit, make it a little bit more spicy, make it a little bit interesting. So it's not the same old thing every week, just add some stuff to it. So that's all the changes that I've made. So as usual, I'm going to start with my artists preview. And in the 2 weeks that I've been off, there's been quite a bit of musical previews. There's quite a bit of artists that have released their songs and videos and albums and such. So I'm just gonna do a quick run through. Can't do all of them because there's been a lot. So okay, I see. Oh, hi Seabird, how are you? Hope all is well. I know it's a difficult time for the family right now, but I've extended my sympathies and condolences to Janet and Michael, and I'll do the same to you as well. So I love it. Hope all is well. Hope you're doing well and managing to keep up. And I'll keep you in my prayers. So yes, so Barris and Popcorn, they've got a song out called A Mother's Love. It's a duet. It's singing about the love that they have for their mother and all of that stuff. So it's a nice song. Barris him not miss. And he has been doing a lot of collabs with Popcorn lately, so them not miss. Chris Martin, he's got one that says Come Closer. Nice song too. Stylo G has one called Dash It. It's a vibesy dancehall song. So if you're into the dancehall mix, Stylo G. Gage has one that says Time, that a strictly dancehall that can't play on radio none at all. Lali and Flight has one called With Move, strictly dancehall as well. And Shensia, big things are going for her right now. She's got the Run Run song out. She's also featured on 2 songs on Kanye's Donda album. So it's a big deal for her. It puts her on a different level, more international scene. So it's a big move for her. Good things going on for her. So let's see who else has joined. Hey, Colleen, how are you? Hope you're doing better. I see Erica is watching. I see, I think Carlene's watching as well. So drop a comment, say hi, say hello. We don't bite over here. It's all love. And, drop your opinions where you feel fit, and let's have a interesting debate as the night goes on. So Jamaica lost a musical icon recently with the death of Rainford Hugh Perry, Order of Distinction, otherwise known as Lee Scratch Perry. He was a singer, producer, and studio wizard. He won a Grammy for Best Reggae Album in 2003 for his recording Jamaica E.T. Many called him eccentric because of his way of living and dressing and the things that he's done, such as building and burning down his own recording studios back in the 70s. Keith Richards called him a shaman, also saying that he's the Salvador Dali of music. He's a mystery. Perry told Rolling Stone in 2010 that being considered a madman is a good thing as it keeps people away. There's also a story about when he tried to help get Paul McCartney. At that time, it was a part of the Beatles. Try to get him out of a Japanese jail as Paul was arrested for possession of marijuana. What caught my attention was the way the letter was addressed. It started out with I, Lee Pipecock Jackson Perry, and then he went on to state why he thinks Paul McCartney should be released from jail. Paul McCartney ended up spending 9 days in jail, and apparently John Lennon was very upset at Paul McCartney because they were supposed to be in Japan to do shows, and there was one of the lead band members in jail, so it didn't go well. So Scratch returned to Jamaica in January of 2021 after living in Switzerland for several years. He had announced plans to, among other things, establish a community in the island where he could get away from what he described as Babylon madness in Switzerland, where he said the energy was not right. His wife has since came out and has been making allegations and alluding to some nefarious reasons behind his death, and that she'll be investigating it, and those who are responsible will pay. Haven't seen or heard anyone state anything that that would allude to the way he died or whatever, the cause of death. So he died on Sunday at aged 2020 at age 85. Okay. Alrighty. So that's that's what's happened with Mr. Perry. Jamaica really lost a good music producer and an ambassador for the music. So, because he's done a lot in reading up and doing the research on him, he did a lot. So, going to move on into the sports section. And, our sports team, our summer sports team are not doing well. Yeah, so the Blue Jays, they don't know how to win. It would seem as if they don't want to get into the playoffs, because I mean, there was one time when they lost 6 games in a row. I mean, they still have a winning record, but the record that they have won't be enough to get them into the playoffs. And at the rate they're going to need to win every game that they have left on their schedule to make it into the playoffs, and that's not going to happen. So, at this point, we just have to look forward to see what happens next year. Just have to look forward to next year. That's it. Their current record is 70-62. And yeah, it's not a good thing at all for them. Not a good thing at all. TFC, same thing. They're not winning. They haven't won a game in how long? It's just been crazy. They're not winning. They've drawn, they've lost, they're at like the bottom of their division. I'm not quite sure. They weren't winning, they changed their coach. They won a couple of games, draw a couple of games, and then they just started back on their losing streak. So I don't know what's happening with them. We'll see. The Argos, they're presently 2-1 in their conference. The CFL season just started. Their next game is September 6th, when they'll be playing the Hamilton Ticats. It's the regular Labor Day matchup. For the Raptors, the 2021-2022 season schedule is out. Their first game is October 20th against the Washington Wizards at the Scotiabank Arena. So they get to play at home. They're not playing on Christmas Day. And the first game against Kyle Lowry and the Heat is January 17th in Miami. So also the NBA is back to their 82-game schedule. They did, I think, 72 or 62 games last season because of COVID. And for the next season, they're going back to their regularly scheduled program. And just a little touch of entertainment. Nene Leakes' husband, Greg Leakes, has died from colon cancer. He was 62 years old. He died peacefully at home with his family around him. He had cancer before, got rid of it, and then it came back more aggressively, they stated. So I know there was a video out over on Sunday where some girl was upset that Nene wasn't as exuberant in singing happy birthday to them as they would want her to be. And, she took the mic and said, he's, the family is just going through some things, and, people need to understand that things happen, and, but so condolences to the family as well. And, death is never a good thing. So it just seems like there's been a lot of that happening lately. So we just have to send condolences to the family and move on from there. So let me see who else is here. Drop a comment, say hello, share the live, and, let's have a good conversation. So that video that's being shown right now is a little bit of what's happening in New York. That was the New York subway this morning, and that's courtesy of Hurricane Ida. The subway was shut down for a bit, and There was nobody moving, nobody was going anywhere because, as you can see, subway was fully flooded out. The New York governor and the New Jersey governor, they declared a state of emergency late last night for the two states because the amount of rain that they were getting from Ida, it was just flooding everywhere. The pictures that I've seen, the videos that I've watched, there's people, climbing out of their house windows in order to avoid getting washed away and stuff. So apparently there's 6 deaths there's 6 people that have died so far in the New York, New Jersey area from Hurricane Ida. I know in New Orleans, in Louisiana, they have a little bit higher death count. I think 13 people died down there. So they're under a state of emergency right now. And I remember they're stating that New York and New Jersey yesterday got more rain yesterday than they would have gotten for the month of September. So they got quite a bit. And I mean, with the video that I showed, you can see that with all that water coming up, of course, the subways would have to be suspended. And so everybody's right now is just trying to clean up and trying to see how they can move forward from that. I know in Louisiana, their hydro system and wires were down for a bit, and they said it was more of an infrastructure situation. So they weren't sure when they would be able to get back light and water and all of that kind of stuff. So it's very hard for them right now. Very, very hard for them right now. So, Mississippi, all of that stuff, so imagine being in a hospital and you need light and they have to watch what they do with the generators and stuff. So it's very hard. It's very hard for them. Very, very hard for them right now. So we just have to, say a prayer for them. We're in a little bit better position than they are, and go from there. So let's see who else is joined. Hey, Rudolph, how are you? Hope all is well with you. Share the live. Say hello if you've just joined, as well as you can view this on YouTube as well. I'm streaming both on Facebook and YouTube, so you can join on YouTube as well. So we're going to circle around now to Myrtle Beach. And in Myrtle Beach, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, a federal grand jury in the United States indicted 4 Jamaicans on Thursday for their alleged role in an international telemarketing scheme where they stole $665,000 from American seniors. Those charged are 29-year-old Fabian Gray, also known as Mike Taylor, 29-year-old Avia Reed, 20-year-old Kalila Powell, and Roman Gordon, 29. They're all of South Carolina. They were all charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud, mail fraud, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. The indictment alleged that since June 2015, the 4 defendants knowingly, willfully, and intentionally conspired to defraud victims by use of telemarketing. Further reports are that the Jamaicans and their co-conspirators falsely informed more than 100 victims, most of them elderly, that they had won large awards of money. Now, with what's happening with this scamming thing, they, at a minimum, 20 years in jail. At a minimum, 20 years in jail. So them nasty road for now. So we're going to circle back to Jamaica. And read this story, saw the video, and I'm a little bit perplexed, a little bit not sure what's happening. But Raquel Bartley is convinced that a woman Duppy had a hand in her spouse's death. Her spouse died on July 1st, a few weeks before she gave birth to their daughter. Bartley, age 29, told the Star that a series of strange occurrences began when they moved to a house in Hayes, Clarendon. She said a week after moving in, they were told that 4 families were forced to leave because the homeowner's ghost was living there. Bartley said her spouse began feeling ill shortly after they moved in and complained that demon was sitting down on his stomach. Him start feel some pain in him chest. Me have to rub him stomach, rub him back, use warm water, and use olive oil. Not knowing it was a demon sitting down on him stomach. Me go to a Christian man and him say, you know, the Duppy is a little short, slim body lady when now left him alone. Every eat him eat, she eat with him. Bartley said the situation became more frightening when her spouse fell ill a day after hitting a lizard. She said he was taken to the hospital where he spent a few days, then died. She believed the ghost followed her spouse to the hospital. A nurse turned to me and said, you know that him have visitor? She said, the visitor and no life smarty. A lady in the room with him, and from him come here the Friday, she not leave him alone. Every nurse me talk to, them say every time they go in there, the ghost has shoved them out. She said a man who came to the house to pray related that he too had an encounter with the Duppy, and he also fell ill and was hospitalized. The mother of 5, she's age 29, the mother of 5 said that with her spouse, who was a breadwinner now deceased, she has not been able to find basic needs, including food, etc. So she's now being given some stuff by neighbors and stuff, and she's asking for assistance to help live because she don't have anything. Because apparently before that, the baby father sisters had come and moved out his stuff, so she don't have much furniture or anything like that or whatever. Colleen says, so how the Duppy in a trouble or look here. I don't know how the double. Listen, when me see it, I had to stop and take a pause. Cause I don't know what I'm talking about, Duppy. And then when me watch, there's a whole 5 or 6 minute video where I explain the whole process of what happened and what going on and something. And yeah, me couldn't understand all of them something. So me just leave it alone. And my thing, Duppy and my thing. So me just leave it alone. Me leave it alone. But yeah, she said Duppy kill her baby daddy. So now she need help and all of them something there. So I don't understand. But it is what it is. So we're staying in Jamaica. Apparently, Jamaica is a good place for investments right now because an American investor, Toby Bailey, has targeted Jamaica for a US $50 million investment, which works out to about $7.5 billion. And he'll make the investment over the next few months through a newly created entity, Borg Global Holdings. Projects will range from the tourism sector to mining to media and even the Jamaica Jazz and Blues Festival. Bailey, who is the chairman and managing trustee of Borg International, a company which has operations in banking, mining, and media, outlined his plans in an interview with the Jamaica Observer earlier this week. We're looking right now at some boutique hotels. They're looking at some lots and even looking at some properties that could be developed into a convention center and even what they call a vault. He states that in the United States, they have an asset vault where they stored gold, diamonds, etc. And they use that to leverage your financial partners to trade and to create new money and all of that stuff. So he says that they're probably looking at between 5 and 6 new boutique hotels, or maybe one medium-sized hotel, and that's mostly in Negril, Montego Bay, and Portland. So quite a few investments. that he plans to do, and he's also looking to buy land from 30 acres up to 1,000 acres in size to develop them through joint ventures and to, build the hotels and the distribution centers and all of that stuff. So if you've got land to sell, he's looking to buy. And if you have a project that you need help with and you need an investor, he's looking for investors as well, and people to do joint ventures with. So, let's see. Colleen says, I wonder if his Bailey spell like mine, if he's my long lost godfather. Yes, and Bailey spell like your own. So yes, you can check him out for see if you're a long lost godfather. You can check to see if you have property when you want to buy, or if you have an idea for development and you can go and joint venture with him. You never know. You never know at all what could happen. Never know. So we're going to go to Clarendon, and relatives of an elderly man from the Longwood section of the parish are in mourning after he fell to his death in a gully that runs alongside his yard. The incident, which happened about 6 p.m. on Monday evening, has come as a shock, as the gully did not contain much water and the deceased 75-year-old Myron Cole was not ill at the time of his death. For his stepdaughter, Carleen Johnson Sutherland, the day began like any other. Cole, she said, spent time with his friends having fun, unaware of the tragic turn of events the evening would bring. She said about 5:30 p.m. he came in while I was in the kitchen preparing dinner, and he gave me a hug and said, "What, my daughter, done cook yet?" And I said, "No, the rice soon done, it's steaming down." He then went inside to lay down, and my mother went in and asked him to close the window because the rain was falling. He went outside and closed the window because it couldn't close properly from inside. Coming back around the house, the banana was hanging down, and he took up a stick, and I think while taking up the stick, that's when he lost his balance and fell. Johnson Sutherland said about an hour later, her mother grew suspicious when Cole was nowhere to be found. When it reached about 7 o'clock, my mother started to ask, where is he? Because him no miss news. She was outside making a cornmeal pudding for him. She started calling Myron, but she not hearing him, she said. About 7:30, I was in my room watching the news, and she came and knocked on my window and said she can't find Myron. Me say, oh, you mean you can't find him? Mind him outside with the guys them. And she said, no, all his friends out there and she not see him. Family members then began a frantic search, which eventually led to the discovery of Cole's lifeless body sometime after 8 o'clock. So apparently somebody was walking by and they used it, and in the search, somebody looked over, saw a foot, turned out, use a flashlight, and see same body. Apparently drop over in the gully and him drawn in the gully and something. So tragic turn of events in such a short space of time for that family. So you just never know. Here today, gone tomorrow. You don't know what going at all. Nothing. Let's see. If you've just joined, drop a comment. Hey, Carleen, how are you? Hope all is well. If you've just joined, drop a comment, say hi, say hello. You can also watch me on YouTube as well. So if you know somebody who doesn't have Facebook that you think would like a program like this, tell them to watch on YouTube. Tell them to watch on YouTube. So we're going to do a little bit of COVID roundup. As you know, I normally do a little bit of what's happening around the world with COVID. So I'm going to start in Barbados. And they're saying that all classes will be fully online when school term begin on September 20th. So far, they've had 4,789 people who have tested positive and only 48 deaths. And they're saying that 34.4% of the population has been tested, And Barbados apparently only has 287,000 people. I thought the population was more, but I guess not. Bermuda so far has only had 34 people die from COVID since it started a couple of, so it's been almost 2 years now. So far they've only had 2,923 cases since it started, and 65% of the population has been vaccinated. Apparently Bermuda only has 62,000 people. I don't know why I think them place I did have more people in them. I don't understand. But gonna circle around to Jamaica now, because poor Jamaica. So the Education Minister, Mr. Favour Williams, reiterated that schools will not be able to hold face-to-face classes at the beginning of the school term. Because not everybody, they're not going to be able to vaccinate all the required students in order to get everybody back in school. They've only started vaccinating kids a couple of weeks ago. I think so far they've only vaccinated maybe 40,000 kids, and there's over 600,000 kids to be vaccinated, 12 and over. So that's not, it's not going well for them, but they're getting vaccine, because so far they've gotten over, if my count is correct, so far they've gotten over 800,000 doses, and I think another 400 doses of vaccine is scheduled to be shipped down there. They're still under lockdown. They're still under curfew. Yesterday, they just completed day 6 of their 7 no movement days, and then last night Andrew made an announcement as well. No, Tuesday they ended their no movement day, and then yesterday Andrew made an announcement that they'll have 6 more no movement days. So on September 5th, 6th, and 7th, and the 12th, 13th, and 14th are no movement days. Curfew starts at 7 p.m. and ends at 5 a.m. But even though them supposed to be on a curfew, me see them a party. Me see them a keep headphone party. Them a keep what them call Bluetooth party. And have people a look out for when police are come. Them hide from the police and all of them something there. So I don't know what go on. I don't know what go on. So we're going to circle to the U.S. and, our lovely friends across the border. They're so smart. They are using a drug. There's the anti-vaxxers and the anti-mask people and those who claim that COVID is a pandemic. They're taking a drug called ivermectin. Now, ivermectin is a drug that is used to treat parasitic roundworms, mostly in animals. But they've decided that if they take that instead of the vaccine, which is made for human, it's better for them. I don't know how that goes. I don't know. I never seen nothing like that yet. But true, them smarter than me, and them want to take animal vaccine as opposed to one that's made for human. Let them knock themselves out. So we're circling back around to our Ontario. And anybody notice that Doug Ford has been missing over the last few weeks? Him just pop up, say something and him gone. See him again in a year, nothing from him. So he popped up, I think yesterday. Yes, yesterday pop up. And announced that we'll be getting a provincial vaccine passport. Now, this man for the last 3 months say him not do no vaccine passport. Him not believe in it. Him not go do it nothing. Nothing. Yesterday now him come out. As a matter of fact, him did supposed to make the announcement from last week and him never make it. Yesterday him come up now say him them going to roll out a vaccine passport. Him claim say him been working on it for the last 3 months. Now, I don't understand how you work on something for the last 3 months where you're not believing and you're saying then I go implement it. So you're either lying about working on it for the last 3 months or you've been lying for the last few months stating that you don't believe in the vaccine passport and you're not going to implement it. So either way, you tell a lie. Somewhere you're telling a lie. But hey, him also blame the Prime Minister about not putting a national vaccine passport in place because him never want to do it for the province, but him did want Justin do it for the country. So that him can say him never put the vaccine passport in place, but Justin put it in place. But what happened was last week on a campaign stop in Toronto, Justin Trudeau stated that there is about $350 million that he set aside for the provinces to draw from to help put the vaccine passport system in place. So once that put out and then call out Doug Ford had no other option but to come forward and defend himself. So he ended up coming forward and defending himself with a lie. But hey, it is what it is. So apparently when the vaccine passport is in place, you will need to use it to go to gyms, cinema, restaurants, casino, nightclubs, strip club, concerts, sporting events, and other large organized indoor gatherings, as well as other non-essential businesses starting September 22nd. Now, he made the announcement and he must say it already in 3 weeks. I don't know that will go. So I must say the vaccine certificate will not be required for retail shopping and outdoor dining. It won't be required at workplaces, religious service, and other essential businesses, including grocery stores, pharmacies, and banks. And exemptions will be given to those who cannot be vaccinated for medical reasons and for children who are not currently eligible to be immunized. And I know hairdressers, barbers, and nail shops has been exempt from asking for the vaccine passport, right? And he says individuals will be given a temporary exemption to attend funeral or wedding receptions at meetings and event spaces, providing they show a negative COVID-19 test result 48 hours prior. So, and apparently there is going to be a fine. No, they're saying individuals could face tickets of about $750, and businesses may be hit with tickets in excess of $1,000 for non-compliance. So, Doug Ford a play whack-a-mole. You whack him and pop up him head, and then he go back down. And then wait a couple of weeks and then he come back up, say something stupid and go back down again. So anyways, let's see who will. Hey Sharon, what's up? Sharon said, where was he? Long time no see her here. Girl, the man only pop up every 2 or 3 weeks, come chat something foolishness and then gone back down. Me not understand. Hey Sharice, how are ya? Me not understand. So they're saying that we will be expected to use our paper what them give we when we get the vaccine, the paper what them give, we're supposed to use that in the meantime until, along with a photo ID, until the QR system is in place, and then all of the information will be there, and the QR reader thing will be, developed for the businesses and all of them something there. So I understand how all of this are going to get done in 3 weeks. Montreal started a long time ago. Manitoba started a long time ago. So I understand how all of this will start and go ready in 3 weeks. And they must have the QR code system will be ready by October 22nd. And apparently it's going to be compatible with the other systems that are being used by the other provinces. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. These are for the people them who decided to vote against the lady that had sense and decided to vote for the guy who delivered the dollar beer. And everybody who me here said drink the dollar beer never like the dollar beer. So them can't stay there. Colleen says, Dougie draw a bad card. Ah, Jesus. I have to go start make song off fine because I don't understand what I go on. But I'm just gonna run the COVID numbers right now. And so far in Canada, we've tested 1.5 million people. Of that, 26,945 people have died. Now, in the last 2 weeks that I wasn't here, it 257 people have died since. So every week I'm just gonna show how many people have died since my last report. So my last report on this was a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks, that's the increase in numbers. Worldwide, 218 million people have tested positive. 4,530,000 have died, and there's been since my last report, there's been an increase in death of 200,000 people. Ontario, 566,000 people have been tested, 9,516 have died, and that's been an increase of 104 people since my last report a couple of weeks ago. In Jamaica, 68,131 people have been tested. Total who have died so far is 1,518 people, and that's an increase of 264 people. Now, if you're noticing, there's more people who have died from corona in Jamaica than Canada since my last update. So since my last update, 264 people have died in Jamaica, and in Canada, 257 people have died from corona. So Jamaica not doing very good right now with their corona numbers at all. Not doing very good at all. But we just have to go and hold the faith, and hopefully them will get little. Sharon said, tell the whole labor right them. Sharon, you know me, I'll take your phone from you. Because I know labor right wanna keep party. I know labor right wanna keep party, Andrew tell them say stay at them yard, and them decide so them not stay at them yard, them a go a party. So you go a party, you catch it. And then who not take vaccine and all of them something there. So hey, it is what it is. So the lovely lady on screen, she decided to take a trip to Hawaii. Going to Hawaii is not a bad thing because you can't travel to Hawaii. But what happened was, when she was asked to provide her vaccination card, the one that she submitted was a fake one. And the reason why they knew it was a fake one was because she spelled Moderna incorrectly. So now, instead of going on her vacation and enjoying her vacation in Hawaii and coming back to wherever she's from, she's now in jail and will have to pay a fine and will be, charged because she wanted to bypass the mandatory 2-week quarantine. She decided to go down with her fake vaccination form. So she have mandatory quarantine in a jail right now. She have mandatory quarantine in a jail right now. So, plus she's gonna have to pay a fine. Plus she's not gonna be able to go up on her vacation. They must send her back home. So it costs her lots. So I understand these people. Poor soul. Poor soul. But I understand. And do you know she could get up to a year in jail? She's going to have to pay a $5,000 fine. Her bail is $2,000, and she could be she could spend a year in jail. All because she wants to go on a vacation. All because she wants to go on a vacation. Sharon say Andrew did it, yo. Sharon, the people I'm not listen to Andrew. Me can't even blame politics on that. The people them just now listen. In the US, me can't blame politics on it. Because I say the two parties them who are take it on a hide and whatever. But in Jamaica, me can't even blame politics or ignorance. Colleen said the ignorance down there is tragic. Very, very tragic. Ignorance are all about the people them at Jamaica. If them did listen and understand and make a decision and say, okay, me I make that decision because religion or because me allergic to something or because something. But somebody the response them what me hear why people are say them not take the vaccine is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Them a watch CNN or them a go on Facebook and I go check them Facebook doctor. And them a listen to them celebrity artists who a tell them say them to rise up against the government. Don't take the vaccine. But know that when those celebrities are going to want to travel and have to take the vaccine to get to travel to go make their money, them all take it. And them all left poor people down there suffer and are dead off. For what? Stupid. Son. Hey Sandra, how are you? Sandra said my girl couldn't spell. Sharon says Madi. Sharon, we are fireborn. I can't me. And I can't me good Andrew, you're fireborn. True, Monsieur. Sandra says yes, but they're falling in the rabbit hole. Them not falling at the rabbit hole. Them not like come out. Them just live down there. Them just said, this is where I'm staying. Me, I live down here. But anyways, moving on, because me can I can't stay on Corona for a whole thing and me can't be bothered. Me just want me can't bother. So I'm gonna go to Florida. And in Florida, a young Florida mother was killed during a Zoom conference call by her own child who managed to get their hands on an unsecured handgun. Another person on the work-related call phoned 911 explaining to authorities that they saw a toddler in the background and heard a noise just before the 21-year-old Shamaya Lynn fell backwards and vanished from the screen. She had also stopped responding, her colleague noted. Officers and paramedics tried to render aid to Lynn when they arrived at her home in Alamonte Springs, just outside Orlando, but she ultimately died from a gunshot wound to the head. Investigators determined that the injury was caused by a toddler who found a loaded handgun, which was left unsecured by an adult in the apartment. I never know if I go with that one, yeah. I never know. So because of carelessness, she lose her life. I never know if I go that one. So yeah. I don't know if I go with that one. Hey Wendy, good night. Past your bedtime. You're not working tomorrow? Come and know if we're past your bedtime. Hey, Sherry, see a fireball that is between you and Cherise. Cherise, me did. Oh, Jesus. Colleen said, dumb me. Me say me don't. Pass down, it dumb me. leave me speechless. You know that no, I'm quite often, but I don't know. It's just sad, very very sad. But we're gonna go to Australia. There was a little bit of good news in Australia. A middle-aged man who lost his job during COVID has won $80 million in Thursday's Powerball draw. I lost my job during one of the many lockdowns here in Melbourne. We had only just bought a home and didn't see it coming. He had a 1 in $134 million chance to guess the correct numbers for the lotto draw. The middle-aged father who lost his job due to the COVID pandemic and had been working as a cleaner to make ends meet won the lotto jackpot. The father, who has endured 6 lockdowns, held the only Division 1 winning entry in Thursday's Powerball. That's nice. Very nice. That he must struggle and him not a job and him win 80 million. That's nice. Like them the kind of story them I like for year when them kind of people that win lottery. Me like that. Oh, when they said no, you get long weekend off. Look at you. Enjoy. Okay, so on a previous story, hold on, Cherie said, does this kid need a stepmom? Cherie, are you offering? Are you offering to be the stepmom? Colleen said, yes, it's a good win. It's a very good win. Very, very good win. So there's a story that I brought a few weeks ago with the UK Health Secretary Matt Hancock, who was caught kissing. He's married. He's in the British Parliament, and he was caught kissing his aide, who is also married, not to each other. And so he had to resign. Not only did he resign, but he broke up with his wife. She broke up with her husband, and now they're together. Look at that. Cheaters decided that, they want to be together. But yeah, I good for them. Hope it works out. Because 9 times out of 10 things that start like this really don't end well. Like they ended up leaving each other. I've actually only seen it worked once with somebody that I know that I used to work with back in the day. They both left their respective partners, and they're still married. It would have been over 20 odd years now, and they're still married. So let's see what happens. Okay, well, I miss some something. So Colleen said, Cherie said, hell yes to the stepmom. Damn. And Colleen said, I'll be the step granny. Cherie said, we can do this. So yeah, the stepmom and Colleen are the step granny. I can't with you twos at all. Colleen said, what one kiss can do. Colleen, one kiss has brought down dynasties and empires. One kiss can do a lot of things, lot of things, but it is what it is. But this, I usually don't do a story about the Kardashians for obvious reasons, but this particular one, I found it quite interesting. So, Kourtney Kardashian used to be with Rob. No, Rob is the brother. He used to be with Scott. She used to be with Scott Disick. So she has 3 kids with Scott Disick. They broke up. He went his way. She went her way. But if you've been watching the show, you would see that he wants her back, even though he dates like 80. He's in his late 30s, 38, 39, but he's dating 18-year-old and 19-year-old and 20-year-olds. But he wants her back, and he's expressed to her that he wants her back. She left him because he kept drinking and stuff, and even though going to rehab, blah, 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 duh. Anyways, she had a guy, Benjima, and I think she dated him for 2 years, and they broke up. So now she's dating Travis Scott. So the picture of her at the plane is them going on vacation, and the other picture is them on vacation in Italy. So apparently, Scott is all up in his feelings and decided to email Courtney's other ex-boyfriend to ask if he sees what's happening and whatever. So the ex-boyfriend now, because when Benjima and Courtney were dating, Scott didn't like Benjima, so he had some negative comments to say about Benjima. So Benjima decided to be an ass and put Scott on blast and said Scott must keep the same energy that he had about him publicly, privately, and him say him no business about Courtney and who she a date, because as long as she happy, he's okay. Now, can you imagine? Say your one of your ex-boyfriend, I go message your other ex-boyfriend because he's upset with what you're doing with your present boyfriend. Now, me did find this very funny. Me did find this very, very funny because it say, no, me never said that yet. You can imagine. And then for the fact that the ex-boyfriend come put him on blast. It's funny. Me find it funny. Sherry said he emailed his matey. Yes, he did. Colleen said good. Jealous. Sharon said Miss Lashy. Colleen said they move from X to Y. But I mean, you see, I see what you did there. They move from, right? No, but it was quite funny. Trust me, be quite enjoyed. I had to bring this because I thought it was quite funny. Anyways, we're gonna go back to Jamaica. We're going to go back to Jamaica for this next news story. The Island Traffic Authority, ITA, is to join the Road Safety Unit, RSU, and the police in an effort to restrict the growing number of road deaths, especially at night. Apparently, more people have died during curfew time than normal times. And they're not quite sure what's happening. They're saying that close to 100 people have died on the roads during the curfew hours since the start of the year. That's not including the people who have died during the day or whatever, because I think so far there's over 300 people who have died in car accidents. And some of the car accidents that one may see, I don't understand how some of them they happen. Some of the car accident what may see car on top. I don't understand. I don't understand how them reach where them reach for in an accident. I don't understand how the car they put one top of the other car. I don't understand none of it. So apparently them are going to do some investigating, them out, work with the IT, are gonna work with the RSU and see what go on, because them not sure, why so many people are dead during curfew hours. Cause when you stop to think about it, curfew is supposed to be a yard. Curfew, you're supposed to be at home. Where are you during your curfew time? Why so much people are dead? Them also starting to say that they're cautioning drivers against dark tinting of their vehicles, especially the windscreen, which affects the visibility of other drivers at night. So they're going to be removing the plates of the tinted vehicles. So they're saying to remove the tint, because they might take off your plate and they might take off all of the fandangles them off of the vehicle, the red light, the orange light, the blue light, and all of, and the blinding light and all of them. And it's going to cost them $13,800 to replace. So Them also said them not to use them a warn them against using foreign license plate cover by a local plate and ask drivers to ensure that the light that reflects on the plate is working. So me not understand curfew. Oh, so much people are dead in a curfew. Is it that they're racing to go home? Is it that because them know said them not supposed to step on the road in a curfew, them a drive more dangerously, or them a drive without light on during curfew, or it's because them don't want nobody see them or hear them or whatever, and that cause it. Me don't know. So we have to go see what go on. Colleen says it's not curfew, it's Kermore. So, Miss will come take your phone from you, Colleen. Miss will come take your phone from you. Anyways, we're going to go to Colorado, and Elijah McClain, who was killed 2 years ago, he was injected. Let me read the story so I can't think, because sometimes I see them something and it just annoys me. So Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser announced Wednesday morning that a grand jury returned a 32-count indictment against the 3 Aurora police officers and 2 paramedics who were involved in his death a little more than 2 years ago. He was walking home from a store where he had purchased tea for his brother in 2019 when a passerby called 911 and reported that McClain was acting odd. After a confrontation with police, McClain was placed in a chokehold and tackled to the ground. Eventually, he was given ketamine, which is a sedative, and he died a few days later after getting it. Now, they're saying that for his body size and stature, he should not have been given more than maybe 250, 300 milligrams grams of ketamine, but he was given over, I think he was given like 500 grams or milligrams, whatever, however they measure it, he was given that. And that was more than he's supposed to get. I remember the anesthesiologist stating that the amount that they used was too much to be used on him. So he got 500 milligram, and for his body stature and stuff, he wasn't supposed to get more than maybe 200. 250 was on the high end, so 100, 150 would have been enough, and he got twice the amount. So they have decided to charge the police officers and the paramedic with his death. So we'll see what happens with that, if anything comes out of it, because they're going to say that they were doing their job and all of that stuff. But in doing their job, they should have known how much to inject him with, how much to give him, right? So we'll see how that turns out. If you're just joining, say hi, say hello, drop a comment, let us know you're here, sharing the conversation, and share the live. So Olympia Nesta Carter has decided to hang up his cleats. He's retired from professional sports. He's won quite a bit of medals, both at the world tracks, at Olympic track. He was one of the winners in the 2012 Olympics, the 4x100 men relay team at London. He won gold there. So he said he's no longer able to give his best as an athlete, and has decided that he's gonna hang up his cleats and move on to something else. Apparently he also has undisclosed medical condition that will prevent him from running at his best. So we'll see how that happens. And on another side note to that, in Brussels tomorrow, I can't remember the time, probably about 2:30 or 3:30, in the 200-meter race, Shelly-Ann won't be running, Elaine won't be running, but Sharika will be running, and Shakari will be running. So, Sharika does out Shakari again, I mean, I look for Shakara if it come dead last again. So I have to go watch that tomorrow and see how that I go. But yeah, so that's tomorrow for those who are into sports like I am or don't do. I'll be posting an update on my Facebook for those who are not into sports but like the updates. Anyways, I have been reading up on R. Kelly's trial. And the things that want me I read and the girls them will come out and I say these things. Me can't even get into all a wagwan with him trial. Me can't even talk about like it too much. It a go on, I think it started last week. Yes. But it too much. So me just want to touch upon a little bit of it. And it's from both men and women. And ironically, on August 31st, it would have been 27 years since he illegally married 15-year-old Aaliyah. But I'm going to touch on a few of the things that have been stated about the trial, about what they've gone through, both from women and men. Apparently, he also had like a basement set up with the man music good. The man, me not lie, him sing good, him sing nice, him sing some song was just. But then now when you hear about the things that why am I going with you now, why he used to go, you remember you have to wonder why if I saw him express it in my music. I mean, I understand. But anyways, we're gonna have a conversation about this. So we'll start with and they're not highlighting the names of the individuals who are testifying. They're just using aliases and Jane Does and stuff. So a 23-year-old woman testified about the 5-year relationship she had with R. Kelly on Monday. So she's 23. So if we know a track now, R. Kelly has been locked up for about 2 years, 3 years. So that would have put her at age 20. And she had a 5-year relationship. So yeah, so should have started with him when she was about 15. All right. She's 23. So a 23-year-old woman testified about the 5-year relationship she had with R. Kelly on Monday, describing in emotional and graphic detail the abuse and degradation Kelly allegedly used to control her, including forcing her to have an abortion. They met in 2015, so that was 6 years ago. So she would have been 17. And started having a relationship when she was 17. She spoke at times through tears about how Kelly would allegedly punish her for breaking the authoritarian rules he had for his girlfriends. And that's how they put it in air quotes, girlfriends, on how they were to dress and act, and even when they could use the bathroom. He would say that we were worthless and that we did not mean anything to them. Jane said he would basically say they had sold us to him and that we were in a better situation with him. After moving in with Kelly when she was a teenager, Jane's connection to the outside world grew more and more distant. She could only call her parents on the phone with Kelly's permission, and he would tell her exactly what to say during the conversation. He would regularly disparage the woman's parents, and if the woman did not agree with Kelly's characterizations, he would punish her for not being loyal enough. Jane previously testified that Kelly beat her, forced her to do humiliation porn, and made her get an abortion when she became pregnant. She said she contracted herpes from Kelly, who regularly forced her to have sex and often filmed the encounters. Apparently, he's had herpes for many, many years. His doctor came out at the trial and stated that as well. And he never told them or anybody that he had herpes. Another victim alleged that also infected her with herpes and filmed her doing sex without her knowledge. That was Faith, and she's now 24. She said it was just days after her final meeting with Kelly in February 2018 that she began exhibiting symptoms of a cold, and her mouth broke out in sores. She said her mouth had bumps everywhere and her tongue was inflamed with bumps and her mouth looked disgusting. So they met. It's either the same night or the next day that he forced her to have sex with him, and they had oral sex, and she caught herpes. There's a guy, John Joe Louis, who's now 32-year-old, testified that he has evidence of Kelly's sexual predatory pattern. He told the jury that Kelly began sexually abusing him when he was 17 and was interested in starting a career in music. In a garage in the singer's home, Louis said Kelly asked him what he was willing to do for music and asked him if he had any sexual fantasies or had ever thought about men sexually. Despite saying no, Louis said Kelly performed oral sex on him. Louis said Kelly told him to keep it between me and him. We're families now. We're brothers. Prosecutors have accused Kelly of being the ringleader behind a criminal enterprise that exploited his fame in order to sexually abuse numerous victims, many of whom were under age. He's been indicted on charges of sex trafficking and racketeering, but he's denied all charge. And that is just the Tama parts of the court, what's happening in the trial and what's happening in the courts right now. Like some of the other stuff that when I read, the peeing and the pooing and the da and the locking up and locking women up naked in a basement, and him only let them out. Sometimes them get to eat once a day, and if him not happy with what they're doing or whatever. I don't know. That trial, yeah. Me no see ma come back a road. And there are many people out there who say Babylon a take down black man and Babylon a do this and Babylon a do that. But I don't know if so much people cannot tell lie upon one man. Honestly. I don't know if that many people cannot tell lie upon one man. But me I go watch a trial and see. Me keeping updated. Next week again, me will touch upon a little more to see what else somebody else come out with and see how it go on. So Sharon say there's also a guy, yeah. Colleen says if I start commenting on the Kelly story, Facebook going to lock me down. Man and woman. Sharon said Babylon can't take him. Nobody wants him at this point in time. And when you sit down and think about the music, the man is a genius when they come on to him music and him lyrics and all that behind this, all of that are going. Nah, man. Something wrong with him. Something wrong with him. But it is what it is. Anyways, we're going to circle back around into Ontario for those people who... I didn't know that this was a thing. I didn't know that there's still people who are driving around from 2020 with expired driver's license plate stickers, health card, and all of those things. Me never know that was a thing because true, you can get most of the something them online. Me never know. But apparently it's a thing. But it's coming to an end. So for those people who are driving around with expired license plate stickers, you have until February 28th, 2022 to buy a sticker. Right? You have until February 28th, 2028 to buy a sticker. You can renew your driver's license online. So you know when normally when you do your driver's license, you have to go and go take a picture and something. Them are saying if you do that now during COVID, you can just send in your renewal online and it'll be okay. They must say, so there's another one if you drive commercial vehicle. So if you drive truck and them something, they have until December 31st for upgrade your something and do your something. And if you have like a G1, G2, M1 or M2, you have till December 31st, 2022 for upgrade and get your proper driver's license. If you cause G1 and G2, them expire after 5 years. So if it expire, I know you're able to get your driving test, because I know them not done a driving test. You have until December 31st, 2022. But most importantly, for your driver's license and your license plate sticker, you have until February 28th, 2022 to get your things together. Me never know that was a thing. Me there every year I spend my money, I never know say. But then them say when you renew your things, them all charge you for the back money. Them all charge you for the back money where you owe for the years where you never renew. So like you renew it and you just will renew it moving forward, them will charge you. So keep that in mind. Also, Jamaica is dealing with an oxygen shortage right now, again, due to the rising COVID cases. They're putting off some of the other surgeries that they were supposed to do because they have no oxygen, and with no oxygen, you can't have surgery. So people are dying from waiting on people are dying from a lack of oxygen, from waiting on oxygen. People are dying because they can't get their surgeries done because there's no oxygen. They got some, today's Thursday, I think they got some on Monday, Tuesday, but they said it's not going to be enough. IGL is not able to produce enough to maintain the supplies. So COVID not only kill people who catch the virus. The collateral damage from that are spread wide because people now here, people are catch COVID, people are go to hospital. They might take up hospital bed. So if you have a surgery if you go do and it's not considered a detrimental surgery, your surgery I get put off. So you're in a more pain now something because idiot people I catch COVID and I in a hospital, I take up the amenities and I use up the oxygen them what proper people with proper sickness need thing. Like me say, me can't. But we're gonna circle around to Belgium right now. And if you're just joining, I see Ron Robin Mama Jane, I see Doreen join, I see hey Del Marie, how are you? Long time no see or talk. All is well? Hope all is well. Sharon say a whole heap of time still. I true a whole heap of time left to get this open then, but hey. Hey. So we are go Belgium because you one lady in a Belgium, them banner from visiting her boyfriend in the zoo. Her boyfriend is a chimpanzee in the zoo. And they've banned her from the establishment from visiting her boyfriend. And she's very upset. They've been having an affair for the past 4 years. She said she don't know what she's going to do because that is all that she has. Her boyfriend, the chimpanzee in the zoo in Belgium. I don't understand. And then she jealous of the other visitors to the zoo who interact with the chimp. And apparently when the chimpanzee sees the other people, it throws kissing signs to them because he's throwing kisses to his girlfriend, he thinks. Oh, Jesus. No, sir. The woman in a good long-term relationship with her chimpanzee. You know, some relationship in the last 4 years. And my woman in a good relationship, 4-year relationship with her chimpanzee. And apparently, the other monkey them know because the chimpanzee go on like it a human and a blow kisses and all of them something there. He must say the other monkey them know not play with him. Now because the other monkey them not think say yeah hey. Me not understand. Me not understand. Why Sharon said them jealous. Cherie says, do you blame her though? Then Marie said, don't kill me, she mentally challenged. And that them need for thing. Cherie said, for real. And that them need for check for see what go on with her. Colleen said, what a breakup. Me nah laugh. And so much jealousy I go on the chimpanzee. Colleen, put your phone down and step away. Sharon said the chimpanzee are old girlies. Me I tell you. Delmarie said she must have some challenges. There's some psychological disorder happening with her. Colleen said the chimp are more than gallis. Colleen said, you see why Pitney a band look like monkey? I said the woman upset because she in a full 4-year relationship with the chimpanzee at the zoo. Because she go to the zoo every day go visit her monkey. Anyways, we'll go around to Michigan. A judge has ordered a Western Michigan couple to pay $30,441 to their son for getting rid of his pornography collection. The decision came 8 months after David Workin, 43, won a lawsuit against his parents. He said they had no right to throw out his collection of films, magazines, and other items. Workin had lived at their Grand Haven home for 10 months after a divorce before moving to Muncie, Indiana. The judge actually set a value based on a website that he went on, and he also said that the parents must pay $14,500 to their son's attorney. The son said it was after he moved away from his parents' home and went to live on his own. He realized that his stuff were missing, and then when he asked the father tell him, say, me do him a favor getting rid of all the stuff. Him decides, say, I'll carry them go court, and him carry them go court, and him win. So, it was that 30,000 plus 14,000, that's 45. So, them have to pay him almost 46,000. Almost 46,000, them have to go pay him. That sucks. Sharon said they're judging a porn too. I don't know. We're going to circle around to Florida because this lady, she was reported missing earlier this month, and then she was found naked and trapped in an 8-foot storm drain. And she told her rescuer she'd been in the sewer system for about 3 weeks. She lives in Delray Beach in Florida. She said she became trapped in a storm sewer because she went to investigate. She went to swim in the canal near her boyfriend's home, and she saw something. She went to investigate, and she ended up being trapped in the sewer system. Apparently, this lady has a history of mental illness, so they reported her missing. Couldn't figure out why, they didn't know where she was. Nobody saw her. Nobody knew her, what was happening, and what was happening with her. And yeah, so it was somebody who was walking by the storm drain cover, heard some noise and looked down, and they called 911. 911 come, and when they open it or something, those are pictures of them pulling her out of the storm drain. So luckily for her, they pulled her out alive. That she didn't die in the storm drain, because that could happen. That could happen. So right now, they took her out of the storm drain, and they actually took her to the hospital to keep her under mental illness watch, which is called the Florida's Baker Act, for 72 hours to make sure that she's okay. Alrighty, so we're going to touch, as if you were here at the beginning, you would have heard me mention that I'm going to do a little bit of breakdown on what's happening with the election that's coming up, what the various parties are offering. There's 6 parties that are running for election. There's, hold on, let me see something, one long something. Siri said, don't touch people things. Colleen said, the porn is... And then Colleen said, fast dog deserve a fast lick. Why she see she have to go fast? Now you see how much people with challenges about she lucky say I never last night when Ida passed through. I true that. Because if I did last night, she would have definitely drowned, because I don't know, and she survived down there for 3 weeks. So I don't know how she survived down there for 3 weeks, but she survived down there for 3 weeks. But anyways, we're going to touch on the politics right now. I'm only touching on the Liberals, the Conservatives, and the NDP, because the Black Quebecois, they're all in Quebec, and and also the People's Party of Canada is an offshoot of the Conservative Party and the Green Party. Those 3 parties don't have a chance of forming a government. So the 3 main parties are the ones that I'm going to focus on, and just do a little bit of breakdown of some of the things that they're offering. So you can vote by mail. You have up until September 14th to go online to request your mail-in ballot, so that you can send your ballot in by mail. You don't have to go out on the 20th to vote. You can request. So if you don't want to go in the crowd and in the line and all of that stuff, request your mail-in ballot. Go online to the Elections Canada website, request your ballot. They'll mail it out to you, and you just fill it in and send it back. Early voting days are September 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th, which is next Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And voting hours are from 9:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. Your employers are mandated to give you time to vote, at a minimum at least 3 hours time off on the day of voting. And also, normally we would, a lot of the schools, that's where a lot of the polling stations would be. That's not the case this year. Due to COVID, a lot of the school boards are not allowing the election to be the Elections Canada to set up their polling stations in the schools. So they're having a little bit of difficulty right now finding places that will accommodate the polling station. So I know they're looking at getting banquet halls and community centers and such. So the places where you normally go to vote might not be where you go to vote this year, due to those challenges that they're having in finding places to set up their polling station. Okay. So just a little bit of breakdown, a couple of stuff. So the Liberals are pledging that they will increase the Child Canada benefit by 15% for families with kids under age 1, and up to 250,000 new childcare space will be created. The Conservative has pledged to maintain the same, and the NDP pledges to create 500,000 childcare space, which will be double the limit pledged by the other 2 parties. And they also want to implement a national school nutrition program. With regards to climate change, Liberal promises to phase out the coal program by 2030, which will help Canada to exceed the Paris Agreement. The Conservative has committed to meet the Paris Agreement as well, but will get rid of the carbon tax currently in place. And the NDP wants to create a climate bank to invest in renewable energy and clean technology. With regards to student loans, the Liberal proposed making student loans interest-free for 2 years after graduation, and graduates won't have to repay the loan until they're earning over $35,000. Conservatives have promised a boost in the registered education savings plan that would increase contributions from 20% to 30% for every dollar invested. And NDP, their goal is to work towards a free university and college tuition. So those are just a little bit of breakdown of what the different parties are offering for those items. Next week, Thursday, I'll touch on a couple other items, and we'll see how that goes. So that's just a little bit of politics update. I'm going to circle around out to Louisiana, where a woman was shot dead by police yesterday after hurling racial slurs at the crew working to repair damage from Hurricane Ida in Meterre, Louisiana. So apparently they were after the hurricane in Louisiana, they were cleaning up. And there were some Black people there cleaning up along with the police and a few other stuff. And she decided that she was going to be racist and calling them out of their names and all of that kind of stuff. And, they called the police on her, and she used her car to hit the police and dragged one on the road, and they shot her and killed her. They shot her 8 to 9 times. They're saying that she previously had been committed for mental health issues and all of them something there. But I understand people have mental health issues, but in a gear right to be racist. The mental health issues did not prevent her from being racist. Mental health issues did not prevent her from getting in her car and go harass people, lick her police with her car and whatever. Me not say the police right for shoot her, kill her, but she could have lick him with her car, kill him. So, all of them something there. All of them something there. Del say, I don't believe a word the Conservative promise. Girl, you and me both. I have seen what they're doing. I have been reading what they're doing, and I've been seeing what they're doing and talking. They're doing with the left hand and hiding with the right hand. So, yeah. Cheryl say, oh, well, she have no more mental health issues. Yeah, I said what I said. Girl, I concur with you. She not have no issues right now, none whatsoever. She not have no racism issues. She not have no bills to pay. She not have nothing. You have mental health issues, stay your yard. So, the topic for tonight, we're just going to touch on it briefly because we're running past the time that I thought I would be finished. But there's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about. So, a pet peeve of mine is lateness. So a guy wrote in and said his wife's brother-in-law is always late and always have some minor excuse that he tosses off. He was so late for his wedding that some people in the church thought it had been called off and started to talk about leaving. When he and his bride arrived, they looked smug instead of embarrassed. One can only guess what delayed them, and they didn't apologize. His wife, my sister-in-law, is also indifferent to time commitment when she's the hostess of a dinner occasion. We feed our young children something to hold them back their hunger, and then dinner is not served until 9 p.m. So apparently, this person is always late. Him and his wife is always late. No matter what the occasion, always late. So I go leave my opinion for the last. But I want y'all to drop a comment in the box to let me know what you think about people who are always late. People who no time. Let's see. Del Marie said, I've seen them raising taxes, cutting social programs. That too. Sharon says, Cherise. Sharon, why you calling out Cherise? Hi, Cherise says I'm much better. Well, no, sir, but yeah. Drop a comment. Del Marie says they have no respect for people's time. Well, that is a major pet peeve of mine. I must say, that is a major pet peeve of mine. I remember dating one guy once, and I remember we were supposed to go out. And he had the car, and he had gone out to do something to come back so that him and I could go out to do something together. And one, he was late coming back to pick me up. So, I was pissed. And then two, he decided that when he came back, he was going to take a shower. Now, boyfriend had already showered and gone on the road and was just coming back to pick me up so that we could go out to do something. You come back late and then you go tell me, say you want to shower again before me and you go up on road. So I waited till he got in the shower. I took the car key and I left. I got a phone call. Where are you? Me gone about my business. Me gone about my business. And then I wait for you to come back on bed. And to come back on road. You bed before you leave the yard. So me then I go wait for you again for you bed again. No. Me leave him. Me leave him. Me nena. Colleen said, why I'm going to do a road? Why I'm going to road, go do one wash shower again? Girl, I don't know. But there's a... He's one of those people that have that when he does a number 2, him have a beard. He was one of those people. When him do a number 2, him have a beard. Yeah. He was one of those people. So, me no know. But me left him right there at the house. Me go do my business. Sharon, why you calling out Therese again? They'll say him a Muslim. Colleen said, after I never COVID time, hey, girl, this was like 20 years ago. So, yeah. Carlene said, road code, him coming from. Girl, me don't even know where him coming from, what him do, whatever. But because I know that he has that idiosyncrasy, me never paid no mind or whatever. But you come in and you go tell me, say you just be and go on road. Whatever you do on road, that thing problem. Me take the car, me go on a road. Me take the car and me go on a road. Me never business, me never wait. But me not like I do that. You wanna annoy me? That part. Waiting. I think that is like one of my major triggers to wait. And me not say me always on time, But if me late because of something beyond my control why me late. Either traffic or something me I do and somebody else make me late, make me then late for something else, but me not go late for something what me know say me have a time for dead by. Me not go late. If me late, I know my reasoning why me late. I know something what me do why me late. Or somebody else make me late. Me not no control over that if me late. That is my thing. Let me see. Colleen said, must be Sharon said the man just love clean and fresh. Me not say nothing wrong with the man being clean and fresh. I gave him all day to be clean and fresh. Come go about my business. Me not say nothing wrong with that. Colleen said me do the right thing. Him couldn't believe said me did do that after. Cause we had a conversation about it after, and we had a good laugh about it. A few days after, even sometime I see my road now, and yeah, but it is what it is. But yeah. So the last thing of the night is a question of the night, and it's a new section that I added where people can send me email if they have issues, if they got a question that they need answers to, that they don't want to ask a friend or a family member, they can email me anonymously and they'll tune in to hear the response that we're giving. So for tonight, the question is, when you have a child and they die, and when people ask you how many children you have, do you include the dead child in your counting? And if you only had one child and it died, do you say I had a child, or do you just state that you don't have any? And if somebody say why, because sometimes people ask, oh, come here now, pitney. If somebody asks you like that, then would you tell them why? And I know two of my friends on here have lost a child. So do you do the count and then say, but one has passed on? Or do you? Okay. So Dell says, yes, I do. Bernadine. Okay. Yeah. Because it's what, 5 or 6 years now, because it was just August that just went by. Dell said, this touch home with me, girl. I know. Sorry. I know. Especially so close to the anniversary. Colleen said, yes, me counting, me bless my womb. Okay. I guess you have to, but then do you then have to get into the I have 4 but only 3 alive, or I have 4 and you leave it at the amount that you have and that's it? Do you have do you do the subtraction and say, I had 4 kids, but one died, so now I have 3? Or do you just say, okay, I have 4 kids, leave it at that, and not say not more? Let's see. Colleen says, not all the time. I tell them he died. I still count him. Dell says, I never speak of my son in the past. The accident was August 27th and he died on November 26th, 5 years. Damn, time I run fast. I know the anniversary of the accident had just come up. And I remember the funeral was in November, but Colleen says none of them business sometimes. That's true. And Cherie says, should be up to the person. No one is owed an explanation. And that's facts. Nobody's owed an explanation. But sometimes some people ask me some question, and then for me, sometimes some people ask me some question, the first thing will go come out of my mouth now go nice, so sometimes me take a while for answer. And me take a pause, because me know my mouth and how it stays sometimes. So that's why, me ask. But that was one email that was sent in. Again, we have some new sections to the show. We have a topic of the night, and the topic for tonight was the lateness. And you can, DM me if you've got a topic that you want to discuss. And the question of the night, you can email me questions that you may be looking answers to, and how to proceed with some stuff, how to do some stuff. If you've got issues that you need answers to, you can DM me or whatever, and I'll put it out anonymously. I won't call any names or anything like that, and you'll have to watch and tune in to see what the response and the answers are. For me, if heaven forbid that, my little one, anything happened to her, me always have my one. Me always have my one. Me always I go have my one. Me not think you're supposed to not have who you have. Me always I go have my one. So to my girls, it's hard, but you got your thing. You guys are pushing through day by day, year by year. Get easier. Colleen say, you are Janet Sinclair or you are Dale Pastor. Which one are you, BB? I am there, Bernie. Or hello, Bernie. This is what's happening. I haven't heard Janet Sinclair in a long time, but I still pop over to Dear Pastor sometimes. But yeah, I am Dear Bernie. So when you're writing, Dear Bernie, hide me ID. Anyways, that's it for tonight, folks. I am going to do my soul chattings of the night. I'm going to do my soul chattings of the night, and it's courtesy of Mr. Trent Shelton. He says, when the mission is strong enough, fear and struggles will not be great enough. And I love me some Trent Shelton. Like, he's just awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, my ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for tuning in tonight. I